Hello, everybody. Just want to make sure I adjusted my lighting just a little bit here. I am so excited to be able to do this live stream with you guys because we got one hot little diddly of a topic, and that is heavy metal detoxification and weight loss. This isn't exactly something that we hear about much when it comes to this whole genre of health, like not genre of health, but whole topic of health is this notion of losing weight and detoxifying your heavy metals. Because we think about diet, we think of exercise. This is going to involve cilantro. Well, that cilantro definitely isn't the only be-in and end-all. I'll tell you that much right now. So cilantro is not necessarily going to detox everything. But I do want to be able to chat about this topic because I think it's really important to talk about it. I think that a lot of people have weight loss severely mistaken in the sense that they are consistently trying to use weight loss as this excuse that it is the root cause, and it's not the root cause, guys. At the end of the day, if you are struggling with your weight, the weight is a symptom. I can tell you that right now. The weight is a symptom. And I want to be able to say that because a lot of people are thinking diet, exercise, and then when the weight's not coming off, they end up looking at it going, well, this natural shit didn't work. This supplement didn't work. Or, you know, I'm not exercising hard enough. And I know you guys are all like piping in with like juice, chlorella, and thank you. I appreciate you saying that I rock. I appreciate that. But I will say this, it isn't just about a pill. So if you guys are listening in, I want you to realize that it's not going to be one magic pill that, oh, this is going to help me lose weight because I just took cilantro or I just took chlorella. It doesn't work that way. So I want to be able to just say that straight up, okay? So if you're looking for some magic pill, natural health does not work that way. It just doesn't. Otherwise, you're absolutely kidding yourself. So I want to be able to talk about this topic because I'm super passionate about it. This plus minerals. Guys, it's a really, really, really big topic that I cover in my 8-week coaching program, which is called The Sexy Shed. I'm going to throw this up here, but there is the link. We actually just opened up purchase doors for The Sexy Shed, which is an 8-week hormone weight loss coaching program. And it's open till Monday, the doors. But then after Monday, I don't know when I'm going to be launching this program again. So don't think that like, okay, I'll just get it afterwards. Not really working that way. So I want to leave that as reference because in that program, we work with minerals, heavy metals, digestion, and hormones. Because if you haven't heard this already, in a lot of my broadcasts, I've said that hormones are very superficial. A lot of things affect your hormones. Your digestion affects your hormones. Your mineral balancing affects your hormones. So if you're always just trying to address just the hormones, it's not going to work that way. And so with all respect, guys, we are going to be staying on topic. So if you're asking me for recipes for salad dressings and stuff, I'm not going to be answering that because I want to respect everyone else's time. So we came in here for the live stream specifically about weight loss and heavy metal detoxification. So let's back this up a little bit and talk a little bit about how this all really where this starts. And the way that I want to be able to talk about this is that a lot of people who think about heavy metal detoxification, they think about chelation therapy, which does detox your heavy metals. However, chelation therapy is an incredibly aggressive way to detox your minerals, your heavy metals. And the problem with that is that so if you're not familiar with what chelation therapy is, it's generally done, well, it is done through a doctor. So a doctor actually has to do it. But a lot of people that I've seen have gotten sick as a result. Okay. And why does this happen? Well, the reason why that this happens is because of the fact that if the body is not strong enough to be able to detox heavy metals, because it requires energy to detox. Side note, it requires energy to detox. Very important thing to understand. So any single time that I'm working with women to work with heavy metals, oftentimes it's not about, okay, well, let's like detox them hard. That's why when you guys are jumping on this live stream, going, oh, it's going to be about cilantro. Oh, it's going to be about chlorella. And I'm not saying that those are hardcore detoxification methods, but there's something you have to do prior to that, and that's about balancing balancing a person's minerals. So we're going to talk a little bit about that as well. So why is all this indicated? Why is all this indicated? We're not talking about vaccinations. Guys, if you don't stay on topic, I'm going to boot you out. And with all due respect, but we're staying on topic. So again, heavy metals and detoxification. So let's just put it this way. If you are somebody who is struggling with your weight, why is heavy metals potentially indicated with that? The reason being, let's start off with copper. Okay, let's start off with copper. So copper is a heavy metal that is rampant. And the one thing I will say with that is the reason why is because so many women have been on the birth control pill. So many women are drinking unfiltered water from their taps, which there's a lot of copper piping. Not to mention there's lead in there as well. So those are two big sources, copper, IUD. All these things are as a part of it. I'm going to start to remove people, guys. Sorry. Just because it's a little frustrating. So anyways, when you end up having all these sources that are bringing in copper, for example, and I'm using this as an example, what ends up happening is copper drives estrogen. And the way that copper drives estrogen is it stimulates a specific pathway that takes your androgens, which is your male hormones like testosterone, and it converts them into your most potent estrogen, which is called estradiol. Okay? When that ends up happening and you have excess estrogen, you not only have the potential to develop things like fibroids and cysts and endometriosis, etc. What ends up happening is excess estrogen equals inflammation. So why does this matter? Well, excess inflammation, what ends up coming from that inflammation is a byproduct of weight gain. So if you're struggling with weight, it is a byproduct of inflammation. So we have to address what's causing the weight, what's causing the inflammation. One of the things that could be causing the inflammation could very well be copper. And if you are someone who is like, well, I was on the birth control pill, but that was like 10 years ago, Melissa. Or 20 years ago. I had one woman in a live stream who said she was on the birth control pill 30 years ago. And I said to her, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it was even 30 years ago, because that copper is still in your system. And as I just said, copper drives up estrogen levels, and excess estrogen levels equals inflammation. Inflammation is a byproduct of weight. Okay, so can you see how that sort of like drills down? The other thing about copper, for example, as a heavy metal is, say we have a seesaw, right? If you have too much copper, what ends up happening here is there is this deficiency in zinc. Now, before you go running out because you're like, oh, I've got a deficiency in zinc because I have too much copper, I'm just going to go take some zinc supplements. Doesn't work that way, because that's still not addressing the fact that you have too much copper. Okay, so the copper has to be detoxed. And so before we get into the how of that, I want to be able to just stress that the body needs to be strong enough to detox. And that's why some of the most important things that we do in the Sexy Shed, my 8-week coaching program, is really work on balancing people's minerals. And we also have this option to upgrade, which is with the hair trace mineral analysis. And that package is a hair trace mineral analysis plus a consult with one of my highly skilled functional practitioners. Plus you get a protocol at the end that's like targeted for you. And that like package is a package to upgrade. And in that hair trace mineral analysis, that's when we can actually see these different heavy metals that are listed. And truthfully, guys, as someone like myself, for those of you guys who don't know, my name is Melissa Ramos. You're on my YouTube channel. Welcome. I actually have Hashimoto's, which is an autoimmune thyroid condition. And I will tell you that when I got my HTMA red, I noticed that there was copper And the problem with having this copper toxicity was that if you don't have enough zinc, it'll impact your thyroid. So having copper toxicity can absolutely impact your thyroid. 1000%. Ah, you're in the shed. You're so excited. Yes, Rebecca, that is so flippin' awesome. It is going to be off the hook incredible. So thank you for joining, because that's amazing. But you know, when you've got that copper toxicity, even if it's 30, 20 years ago that you were on the birth control pill, it can still affect you. If the copper IUD, I'm still not a huge fan of it. Unfiltered water, obviously not a fan. Get yourself, you know, one of the ways to be able to, versus just like, okay, I got to detox, you also got to look at the sources that are actually bringing the copper in. So water, if you don't have a filtration system, so I like Berkey, that's what I have at home. I have no affiliation to them, by the way, guys. I'm just telling you because I like it. The Berkey water filter is one. Upgrade to the fluoride filters, though. And a practitioner on staff has the Pure Effects filter. And that one's actually really great as well. So Pure Effects is wonderful as well. They're both great filters. And don't forget also, you can get a filter for your shower. Because remember, you're showering. And if you're like me, you probably like hot showers. But you can intake water through your skin. So it can't just be what you're drinking, it's also what you're showering in. And that's incredibly important. So really, 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 really big. So we talked a little bit about copper. We talked a little bit about how that drives estrogen. We talked about how copper decreases that zinc levels, which can impact your thyroid. And think, you know, when you think of thyroid and weight, I don't know if everyone, you know, understands that the thyroid, a healthy thyroid is needed for a healthy weight. But if your metabolism is the engine, a healthy thyroid is like the gas that powers it. Does that make sense? So that's a very important thing to understand, is that the thyroid is so important. So things like heavy metals can absolutely impact your thyroid. And if you do have, you know, a Brita filter, it's not enough. They tend to actually get moldy, by the way, and they don't detox. They don't clear out enough contaminants also. So the Sexy Shed essentially is my 8-week coaching program. It's a weight loss program. We always have people who are like, you know, I'd like to work with you. And this is a really great opportunity to do so. I've lined up a bunch of experts, as it's called, an expert coaching program, to also do live streams and coaching in the group. We've got someone talking about relationships, body image, addiction. Because if you guys are trying to lose weight and you're not even thinking that your mindset is a part of this whole profile, you're kidding yourself. Like literally, you're kidding yourself. And that is something I just have to say, because the amount of women who give me their life stories and then go, what supplement can I take? And I go, it doesn't fucking work that way. Like, you put your body through years of shit and you think that it's just going to like change because you took a supplement, and then you have the nerve to complain that like this natural shit don't work. It's because you don't know what the heck you're doing. You know what I mean? You have to fix the causative factors that are behind it. And there isn't just one root cause. So even with heavy metals, for example, you have to make the body strong enough. What did I say at the beginning of this live stream? The body needs to be strong enough to detox, period. And if you have Hashimoto's, for example, I know somebody mentioned that they have Hashimoto's here, just above. Rebecca mentioned it, and Rebecca Velez. And if you have Hashimoto's, if you have thyroid conditions, if you have adrenal fatigue, I am telling you, this is one, and you're struggling with your weight, this is one program that is an absolute must. And the reason why I say this is because I had such bad issues with my thyroid that I was sleeping like 2-3 times a day, like napping all the time, so exhausted, so tired. The other thing that I was struggling with also is the fact that my weight with Hashimoto's, at least for me, because I was getting attacks, Hashimoto's attacks, I would fluctuate between hyper and hypo. So I would lose weight and then I would gain weight and then some. And then I would be having like headaches. I'd have muscle aches. It just was a nightmare, depression, anxiety. Like it was full on. It wasn't until I began balancing my mineral status, because if you want to detox your heavy metals, you can't do it without balancing out your minerals. And so if you're like, this is so complicated, Melissa, think of it this way. To get your body strong, to build a house, the house needs foundation, right? Like it needs that foundation of the house. So if the house requires foundation, think of your minerals as that foundation. So for you to get strong, you got to build this house. And the base of it are those minerals. Once those minerals start to balance, I can tell you as someone who has thyroid issues, who's had extreme chronic fatigue, and then I'd work out and then I'd get set back. So people follow me on Instagram and they'll see my stories because I post my workout stories, my workouts on my Insta stories. And people will say, wow, you're so strong. Like, I would never be able to do that. I go, girl, about a year ago, I couldn't do it either. A year ago, well, I would say in September 2017, when I got diagnosed, by the late fall and December of 2017, I was in such bad shape. And even at the beginning of 2018, I will tell you this, I would start working out and I would be out for like a couple of days. Like even the most like yoga where I would be doing like not a aggressive yoga, but any type of movement was just too much for me. I drank coffee. I would grind my teeth. I had problems sleeping. It was an absolute nightmare. So I spent a huge part of really balancing my minerals because what I'm offering in Sexy Shed is a supplement protocol, which, get this, is also for women who are breastfeeding. I have one specific for women who are breastfeeding. I have one specific if you've had your gallbladder removed. Anyone here have had their gallbladder removed? Because I'll tell you right now, if you've had your gallbladder removed, you need help digesting fats. I also have the base one, which all of them really work with balancing your minerals, leveling up your hormones, and leveling up your gut. Obviously, you have that option to upgrade to either a hormone panel, which is amazing. And then the second option is to add a hair trace mineral analysis to that package, okay? And because your results would get read in one consult. Or you can forego that and just get the hair trace mineral analysis, which assesses your minerals and your heavy metal load. So Kina, I hope I'm saying your name right, and if I'm not, I'm sorry, says her gallbladder has been gone since 2005. So this is so common, so common. But you need help digesting fats because your fats create your hormones, your fats line your cells, your fats line your brain. Like it's so important. So especially if you're trying to lose weight, you need that support. So we talked a little bit about copper and how copper actually really affects your thyroid. It affects your estrogen levels. All of these things can increase inflammation. And I do want to say that, interestingly enough, what we end up seeing, so for example, if you were to join Sexy Shed, which has a recipe book, it has expert coaching calls, it has food guidelines, there's recipes for meat eaters to vegans to vegetarians, shopping lists, like you name it, we've got it all in this, like a Facebook group where I'm there. Like I'm literally there every single day giving you guys coaching Monday to Friday. Weekends, no, because mama needs to rest. But you're literally getting coaching for like an incredible price from now until Monday when purchase stores obviously close. So I just want to let you guys know that, because if you are looking to be able to get some results finally that are sustainable, that's an amazing piece of it. So the one thing, so if you actually look at the site, you will actually see what you get for it. So as I mentioned, you get 8 weeks of coaching. 8 weeks of coaching from me and experts there. You get recipes, you get a supplement plan. There's a lot that you get all together. So if you look through, we've got testimonials of people who've lost weight. You get coaching calls from me, weekly email support, master classes, weight loss supplement protocol, recipe book, cooking tutorial, intermittent fasting tutorial, meal plan and shopping lists. So you know what? You get a lot. You get a lot. In fact, the entire total value of the program is $1,000, and you're getting it for $297, which is pretty amazing. So anyways, guys, on with that. I've got a bunch of people saying they're on Sexy Shed. I'm caught in a cycle of anxiety, says Juan, inflammation and reproductive issues, but can't seem to gain weight. Well, I definitely will do a live stream about helping people to gain weight, because that is definitely something that people, I know people struggle with. In the purpose of this live stream, we're going to stick to topic. So I want to make sure that we just stay on topic. Can I ask my doctor about checking to do the copper test? No, because the problem is that number one, your doctor is not going to end up doing a heavy metal test. I can guarantee you that. There are other tests for testing for metals. So blood actually isn't the best way to test for it. And the reason why is because blood is homeostatic, meaning it's always trying to balance things out. Your hair is the best way to actually check for heavy metals. So that's definitely one big thing. You're very welcome, Patricia. Okay. So how do we do this? What tools can I give you guys? Because I want to give you something, right? Well, remember when I told you got to get stuff out of your world? So number one, obviously filter your water. Number two, consider the family planning method if you're on birth control pill. Because of the fact that the family planning method, which is when you track your temperature, you track your cycle, there are multiple apps and applications that you can use and monitors that you can use to track your cycle. But when used correctly, it's actually 98% effective, which is amazing. Okay. But I'm saying this because of the fact that the birth control, this is the crazy part. So if your mother was on the birth control pill before she had you, that copper toxicity would have passed from her to you because copper passes in utero. Like that to me is like a really, really crazy statistic. Like when I heard that, my mind was blown. Because think about it. There's a lot of women, like when was the birth control pill invented? What, the 70s or so? 60s, 70s? You're looking at when the birth control pill was out, it was a very heavy dose of estrogen. Like it was a very, very heavy dose. It's not like the low dose pills that are out there now. And not saying that what we have now is any better, but like that's like crazy. So the amount of women that I see that also have all these estrogen issues, which is the majority of women that I work with. Like these are women who have PCOS, so polycystic ovarian syndrome. 70% of women will have a fibroid by the time that they're 50. 70. Those are benign uterine tumors. Ovarian cysts, endometriosis, adenomyosis. Women who have chronic yeast infections are women who generally, when they've done like all the detoxing that they possibly can, but they're like, I'm still getting this yeast infection, this bacterial vaginosis. Like, what the crazy F is going on? And I'm like, you probably have a copper toxicity because copper also drives yeast. So women that I see, I worked with so many women who were like, Melissa, I've got like, these estrogen issues. I've got chronic yeast infections. I have this weight issue that can't come off. I'm so tired. And I'm like, probably have a copper toxicity. And the crazy thing is we often see it with mercury. So any of you guys have those shiny silver fillings in your teeth? I can't show you because I don't have them, but that's mercury. And if you do have them, I would strongly suggest go to your dentist and get them to take them and to remove them out slowly. Okay. And I say that because it's really important because that's going to create toxicity in the mouth, but they have to take them out slowly because of the fact that if they take them out altogether, it can be actually quite dangerous. What is super important to consider before joining, especially in terms of behavior change, movement, and dedication, etc.? Well, for one, the people that I work with, Peachy, if I can call you that, the people that I work with, I want people to be all in. Okay. I want people to be all in. And like, I don't want no half-assing. Like if you're sitting here half-assing and going like, I don't know, blah, blah, blah. Like I want the goal for me with you and all of you guys watching is for you to go from, and I'm totally making an assumption, but this is how I was. I was so neurotic about the scale, guys. I would weigh myself every day. I would feel guilty if I ate too much carbs. My plan that I have in Sexy Shed is a high-fat, low-carb plan. However, I also do a live stream and I teach you guys when you actually need more carbs. Like when you actually need more carbs. Like imagine trying to be fucking consistent the entire month, eating the same way the entire month. This is why women are like, this is crazy, yo. Like I can't keep up with this. I actually, in my food guidelines, I show pictures of my lunch and dinner, which you're going to look at and go, damn, that's a lazy recipe. But it's not. It's like a visual representation. Like my recipe book has some other like really yummy recipes, but sometimes I'm just straight up lazy and I'm just like, okay, salad. It's like a smorgasbord of stuff. Boiled eggs, some walnuts, some black olives. Like I just show you a visual representation of like how you should be splitting your plate. I just had my period on Tuesday, side note, because of course you need to know that. When I had that, first day of my period and second day of my period, you want to know what I love to eat? Sweet potato. I roast those. I actually have a recipe in the book called PMS sweet potato wedges. They're so good. But ladies, you need to know how to eat according to your cycle. That also includes how to exercise. Because here's the thing that you have to understand. Our bodies, and please don't get pissed off when I say this, because hear me out. Our bodies are not biologically built to be consistent. I actually don't think anyone's built to be consistent, even men. I say this because especially women are supposed to be all about ease and flow. It's the reason why that we get periods. Even if you don't get your period anymore, try hustling or eating like keto or like super strict keto 30 days out of the month. You're going to fail. You're going to be like, this is no way. So it's about that, like, I don't want you to become neurotic where you're like checking the scale all the time. You feel bad because you haven't moved that much, you know, in one day. And oh my God, now I'm going to gain weight. I used to hate working out. Now I actually look forward to it because it's my release. I was never like that. I was the person who groaned every second of the way. But I'm also the person who has suffered with anxiety and depression like there's no tomorrow. And if you have heavy metal toxicity, not only may you be potentially predisposed to weight, because not everybody who has heavy metal toxicity is overweight. There's some people who are thin and have heavy metal toxicity, but you'll also find that you're going to have hormonal issues because the first primary storage site of bio-unavailable copper is your liver. So check this out, which is kind of nuts, okay? Check this out. When you have the birth control pill or unfiltered water, you're cooking from copper pots and pans, for example, when that's happening, you're getting copper in the body. Copper, I don't want you to fear copper in the sense that copper as the nutrient mineral, if it's going into your cells, like from food, for example, it'd be going into your cells. And technically, it's supposed to act as an antibacterial, an antifungal. It's this amazing mineral. The problem is when we're getting it from sources like our drinking water or birth control pills. I'm just copper pots and pans. What's happening in that respect is it's coming into the body and it's bio-unavailable copper. So it doesn't go in your cells. What it does is it actually stores in its first primary storage site, which is the liver. And the liver, you need a healthy liver to be able to lose weight. If you don't have a healthy liver, you're not going to lose weight. I can tell you that right now. The other reason why you need a healthy liver is because you need a healthy liver for healthy hormones. Any hormone protocol from any practitioner that you'll see will have liver support because the liver is a major detoxification organ. And remember what we said earlier in this broadcast, excess estrogen equals inflammation. Inflammation is a byproduct of weight. So it starts to all trickle down. So while you have this bio-unavailable copper that's coming into the system, you're actually deficient in copper because it's not going into the cells, but you have an excess of copper because it's storing in the liver. How messed up is that? That's so crazy. So Peachy, I know you asked a question and I literally just went all the way around that because I just love to give information. But truthfully, well, let's break this down. You asked about in terms of behavior change. This is the reason why that we have expert coaching throughout the program. We have expert coaching throughout the program because mindset's such a massive part about weight loss, especially since there's a level of food addiction that people have or emotional eating that they have. And for you to be able to have a sustainable weight loss, to be able to lose weight and for it to be sustainable, the mindset has to be there. Otherwise, how you show up in life is going to dictate everything. How you eat, how you sleep, if you take your supplements, how much water you drink, like all that. So that's a part of that. So that you're going to get support with that. Movement. I'm going to be talking a lot about movement, woman. A lot about movement. You're like, haha, it's cool. Keep going. I know you're like, whoa, girl went to answer my question and she just went. But I'm back. So movement, I'm going to be talking a lot about movement as well. Movement was a sore spot, people. God, it was a sore spot with me. I freaking hated movement. In the sense that I was like, ugh, I gotta go to a gym. I don't want to hear someone like yelling at me. I don't want to hear some like extra super chipper person that I haven't even had my coffee yet. Like, it annoyed me, straight up annoyed me. And so now, like I said, I actually look forward to it. So I want to talk about that because you have to know how to move like throughout the month. And I either see women who are totally sedentary, peachy, or people who are over-exercising. When you're over-exercising, guys, you're killing your adrenals. And what happens is when you are super stressed, either because you're exercising too hard or you're eating shitty food or you're mentally stressed because of your partner or because of finances or because of your boss or your mom or whoever, your mother-in-law, whatever, your body pulls at reserves that are inside your body. It pulls at your healthy gut bacteria. It pulls at minerals. It pulls at vitamins. And it consumes these things to be able to cope. It's like if you were stressed, what would you do? A lot of people would like try to like talk to a friend because they're trying to find support. So your body finds support in the nutrients that are within the body. And after a while, you become depleted, right? Because the body can only like, I don't have any more to give, right? So this is where minerals become super imbalanced. And with women, and I work with women, so I'm not excluding men because obviously men need to balance their minerals as well. I'm getting my husband's hair tested. Whole family's getting tested. I see magnesium notoriously low. So one thing, guys, I would strongly suggest, get the magnesium glycinate chelate. I love magnesium glycinate. And I suggest taking 5 times your body weight of magnesium. 5 times your body weight. Okay? So in other words, if you weigh 140 pounds, times that by 5, that equals 700. So therefore, that's 700 milligrams of magnesium that you take. And you just divide that dose throughout the day, however you see fit. You can start slow. And if you find that the magnesium glycinate that you purchase gives you the shits, what you can do is look for a magnesium glycinate that is in time release form, because then it just releases slowly. So one brand that does that is Jigsaw. It's a white and like lime green bottle. Magnesium glycinate chelate, you can get like that from numerous different supplement companies. So that's definitely one that I would highly suggest. I know this sounds really basic, guys, but drink your water. Thirst is not an adequate gauge for you being dehydrated. Like when you're thirsty, that's like the last alarm bell that's gone off. You've been already thirsty for a while, believe it or not. So that's a really big thing that I would strongly suggest is make sure that you're drinking also half your body weight in ounces of water. So let's do the math. If you weigh 140 pounds, divide that by half, what do you get? 70. So you need to be drinking 70 ounces of water. And I suggest putting in a quarter of a teaspoon of sea salt into your water because that sea salt is rich in minerals. Why do we balance minerals? Why do we care? Well, because the body needs to be strong enough to detox heavy metals. Okay, so that's why. So that's why I'm telling you guys about minerals, because you can't just, you can eat cilantro, you can take chlorella, and that's all great, but you still need to balance your minerals because the body requires strength to detox. If it doesn't, you're taking chlorella and you're taking cilantro, you might detox a little bit, but you probably would be more efficient if you actually ended up really focusing on your mineral status. The other thing that I would also suggest to you is potassium. This is a mineral that did not get talked about a lot at all. People do not hear about potassium very much at all. And I want to talk about this because potassium, this is the good news of potassium, it gets better absorbed in you from food sources than it does supplements. So you get to save your money. So really amazing sources of potassium. We know that avocado is one of them. I would stay away from banana because it's a bit high in sugar, but avocado, beet greens, you know, when you buy beets, sometimes like it's just the leaves are removed and you get just the bulb. Get the beet greens and chop those up, wash them, chop them up, and just saute them up with some olive oil and some garlic and throw them into like maybe an existing stir fry that you have. Keep it simple. But beet greens are very, very, very high in potassium. Another really rich potassium source, and I'm going to like just preface this that I am not necessarily, I'm not advocating for the medical medium when I say this, but celery juice. I know the celery craze has been insane. Hashtag celery juice. You will find it all over social media. I don't agree with everything the medical medium has to say, but the only reason why that the celery juice thing is really helpful is because for one 16-ounce glass of celery juice, there's anywhere between 1,000 to 1,200 milligrams of potassium. Obviously, that depends on the sizes of the stalks that are juiced. But that's pretty big. That's a lot to have first thing in the morning, because the amount that you want to hit per day of potassium is 4,500 milligrams of potassium daily. Okay. Why do we need potassium? Potassium is actually needed for your thyroid. Remember, we need a healthy thyroid because if your metabolism is the engine, your thyroid is a healthy thyroid should be the gas behind that engine to really rev up that metabolism so we can lose some weight. But we need that potassium. So we need sodium, potassium, magnesium. Now, those are some very big, crucial minerals to be able to really concentrate on. I think is absolutely important. So I don't suggest taking calcium. So I know some people are like, magnesium taken with calcium will counteract the diarrhea. I would not suggest taking calcium because here's the really interesting thing. I'm all about testing versus guessing because the amount of people that I see that are all about, well, I'm going to just take this supplement or I read this in a book. But unless you test, you don't exactly really know what's going on. Now, in Sexy Shed, we do have our base program, which is phenomenal. Like I said, you get 8 weeks of expert coaching. I am doing live streams every single day. Now, it doesn't mean you have to catch every single one of them because every day I'm doing like small ones, like 15, 20 minutes. And then I have my topic specific ones, which are an hour long. And I've got about 7 of those, right, sprinkled throughout the 2 months. We've also got these experts that are coming in talking about sleep, post-birth control, weight gain is another really big one. Sleep. If you're not sleeping well, you're probably going to be predisposed to gaining weight. It's a really, really, really big one. So, aren't you sweet, Renew? Thank you for the love. For those of you guys who are just saying like Yvette, I love you. Just absolutely lovely. Thank you so much. But I'm saying all this because I really feel that women who are looking to lose weight need to stop focusing on losing weight. I know that sounds so ass backwards because it's like, what? So wait, so for me to lose weight, I have to stop focusing on losing weight. Exactly. What we do is we focus on the things that are causing it. Do you see what I'm saying? Because when you do, and you focus in on the things that are causing the weight gain, do you know what happens? Not only do you start to lose weight, but other things in your life begin to improve, including your energy. Your libido improves. Who here has a shitty libido? I know my libido was terrible before. Terrible. Your skin begins to glow. Your digestion improves. So all these things begin to improve and you're like, whoa, wait. I signed up for the Sexy Shed and I thought I was going to lose weight. And not only did I lose weight, but I also, all this other shit is improving. Like, what? So this is the thing that is absolutely insane. And that's the reason why I say stop focusing on the weight because it will drive you insane. It will totally, totally, totally drive you insane, like 1,000 times over. And this is the thing that I say to people, because when they end up focusing just on the weight, they get neurotic. They go crazy with all of it. Because when they do, they're just thinking about the scale, the numbers. I ate too much. I ate the wrong thing. I want you to focus on the joy of living. And once we start focusing on the causative factors that are causing the weight, that are causing you to gain weight, like post-birth control, like I had Minnie said, oh my God, post-birth control weight gain, totally happening. Do you know how many people don't even associate that? Do you know what the birth control does? The birth control actually wreaks havoc on your gut bacteria. I also mentioned the heavy metal ties with it. But like there's so many things that happen, and these are all the things that we address. So once we start to work on that, do you know how much pressure gets taken off of you? An astronomical amount of pressure gets taken off of you when all you're doing is focusing on the weight previously, and now you're actually focusing on like, I really want to improve my health. Like, and I know that I'm addressing the causative factors, which is I'm like looking to just be the healthiest, most powerful, most badass, most energetic, most joyful, most happiest person I can be. Doesn't that feel better and less pressure than I gotta lose this weight? Do you see how the energy feels? I don't know if you guys are, I know that's totally woo-woo to say, but like to me, there's a really huge shift there. Natalia says, my calcium magnesium on my HTMA was much higher than normal range. Why would that be? Should I be taking the magnesium supplement that you recommended earlier? So number one, I can't really comment because I don't know your case. I don't know your background. I haven't seen your HTMA test. So I have no idea. However, I will tell you that sometimes levels may look elevated. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's too much. Sometimes it could be that you are excreting. So sometimes it could be too much is coming out. Number one, so that you're actually like excreting, because remember, your hair is also as an excretion method, right? So is your urine, so is your saliva. So that's one causative factor. The really interesting thing about the hair trace mineral analysis. So if you guys join Sexy Shed, as I told you, the purchase stores close on Monday, but you have the option to upgrade. You don't have to. You can do the base program. Many people have chosen to upgrade because testing is like, it's amazing. You can do our hormone test and add the hair trace mineral analysis test with it, and it gets read in one consult, so you save by getting 2 tests. Or if you're like, I don't want to do that, then all you have to do is just get the HTMA test on its own, which is cheaper. But sometimes on a hair trace mineral analysis, which is HTMA, we see high calcium levels with women like me. So I had high calcium levels on my HTMA. And I had, what was interesting is we call this the calcium shell. Okay. What do I mean by that? Well, think of an egg. Okay. The shell of the egg protects the egg, right? Okay. Protects the egg from inside. Little do people know, but the shell of an egg is actually very rich in calcium. A shitty form of calcium, but calcium no less. So it protects the egg. So this calcium shell that you have on, say, for example, if your calcium levels were super high, elevated on a hair trace mineral analysis test, it is an indication sometimes that there could have been some trauma in the past. There could be some emotional stuff. Because when we start to break down that calcium shell, which is what we want to do, there could be a release, like emotional stuff can come up. This is also the thing that we work on in the Sexy Shed is emotions. Like, there's going to be, I'm not going to lie, if you join Sexy Shed, I'm going to be very, very, very surprised if we don't have some tears. And tears in the, like, ahas, tears of joy, but tears in terms of like, holy fuck, I just realized some stuff that I've been holding in that I've never really dealt with. And that's really important as well. Curious, what's the reason for choosing the length of the program? You got good questions today, Peachy. 8 weeks, because I feel that you can do a lot of amazing work in 8 weeks. I feel that like they have this, there's varying numbers for it, but that they say that it takes a person, I think 23 days or something odd days, 20 something days to actually create a habit. And I feel that having a 2-month, like we've seen such incredible results. I wish I could share some of these results with you guys. I wish I could mirror my screen here on YouTube. But maybe actually, you know what? I can actually pull up my slides. I totally can. But we've seen such incredible results in 2 months that I think it's totally possible for people to lose some of the weight in 2 months. And also not just to lose weight, but to actually harness something that's sustainable. Like they didn't just create a habit, but they created something that was sustainable. So that was the reasoning behind that. Natalia, I love this. Meditation could help with my mental balance. Meditation is phenomenal. We actually, when you purchase, if you guys decide that you want to purchase Sexy Shed, tonight the bonuses expire. So if you're watching the replay after Friday night, the bonuses have expired. Doesn't mean that you still shouldn't get in on the program, but bonuses expire tonight. There's 4 meditation recordings. They're all shot in California with yours truly. And then there's also this one amazing bonus that I can't even believe I'm giving away for free. It's called the Ignite coaching call recording. And it's so valuable because it teaches you how to put together your own health portfolio, which is like amazing. Because I think every woman technically should learn how to do this. So what are functional ranges between lab ranges and functional ranges? What blood tests should you be getting from your your doctor? What if your doctor gives you pushback and doesn't want to give you those tests? Where do you go? I got answers for all of that. So that call and those meditation recordings, I'm trying to pull up some of these testimonial photos that I have here, are actually a part of the program as bonuses, but those bonuses expire this evening. So I would highly suggest that if you're like debating, I would love to work with you guys because truthfully, I'm not going to like toot my own horn here, but I have the best tribe. Like I have the best network out there. The women that I work with are some of the most powerful, most amazing women that I have had the pleasure to work with. And I know because I speak with you guys here. So anyways, so check this out. That's one of our, look at her. So see your abdomen? Just going to stretch this out more. Look at her abdomen. That's like crazy pants. That's in like 2 months. That's somebody who was like, I'm all in. Tell me, what do I have to do? She was so all in when we did the Sexy Shed. And I don't know when I'm going to do this program again. The last time I did this program was 2.5 years ago. 2.5 years ago. So I don't know when I'm going to release it again because I've got so many things coming up. Great question. What's the difference between Sexy Lady Balls and Sexy Sheds? Thank you for asking that question because it's a great one. So Sexy Shed is my hormone membership program. It is a monthly membership, so you pay monthly. And the thing with Sexy Shed is it is on hormones. So it is more of a, like it's very helpful for sure. But unlike Sexy Shed is a hormone weight loss program. So we get super targeted on weight loss. Sexy Shed is all about hormones. We do talk about like, you know, coaching calls every single month where I'm talking about the birth control pill, or 1 month I'll talk about perimenopause, and 1 month I'll talk about the gut. So it's a phenomenal, the membership is amazing. I'm writing my book off the membership. Okay. So a book is coming, just a side note. But if you're here and you're like, I really want to lose weight and I really want to work with you, Melissa, where do I start? Start with Sexy Shed because it's a phenomenal 8-week program that is truly, truly, truly remarkable. So I would strongly suggest it. I'm just trying to find you guys one more, another photo here. Oh, here it is. Check this out. See if this is, oh, that's not going to work. Look at that. So before, after, she went from a size 12 to a size 8 in 2 months. Like that's bananas. So that's the one thing I just want to be able to mention to you. So we talked a bit about heavy metals. We talked the importance of doing balancing your minerals. One really great supplement that you could take that I think is phenomenal for detoxification, for mineral support. It's a supplement called Oceans Alive. Oceans Alive is an amazing supplement. It tastes disgusting, but it's really amazing. You can buy it on Amazon. I have no affiliation to them. But I would take like one full dropper's worth, put it in a little 1-shot ounce of water, shoot it back in the morning. The reason why I say it's so helpful is because it's so rich in minerals, like naturally found in oceans alive, which is marine phytoplankton. And so I think it's absolutely amazing. And that's a really great way to work on your minerals. Another amazing thing that I will definitely say is if you're looking to be able to really help you, like heavy metal detoxification, sauna. Get your butt into a sauna. So sauna therapy is phenomenal. It doesn't even have to be an infrared sauna, guys. I know a lot of people ask me that, but a lot of the studies actually have been on the old-fashioned sauna, the really hot sauna. So get in there for 15 minutes. Make sure that you drink a liter of water with salt in it before you go in, because remember, you sweat, right? So when you sweat, if you lick your sweat, it tastes salty. So make sure that you replenish your, to be hydrated and your minerals before going in, just as a safety precaution. But I would do 15 minutes in the sauna like 3 times a week at minimum. Would be a really great thing. Is a sexy shed only the next 8 weeks, or can I purchase it now and start in 4 weeks? I'm actually having my amalgams out next week and have the end of February before I can start something. So here's the thing. The wonderful thing about the sexy shed is once you purchase it, you have lifetime access to the materials. So Jamie, the one thing I want to say, because it's a really great question, is say, for example, you were starting late. There's no official start date. Like we obviously start the coaching calls in February. However, the recordings are there for you to look back on. And when we're done, we usually leave the group open for a couple of weeks just so people can also continue to interact just for a little bit longer in the group. But you still have access to all the expert coaching calls, my topic specific coaching calls. They're all stored on a portal of which you will have login access to for the rest of your life. So you have lifetime access. So it's totally fine if you don't end up starting till the end of February. We absolutely get that. It would be cool to work with you. All the practitioners I have been like, we've never seen a case like yours, so we can't promise success. Sorry, lady. I don't know why I did that voice, but Peachy, I thought I would do it. I'm really all about results with people. And honestly, for those women there's some women who I've seen women who've dropped 12 pounds in a week. And the reason why is because those 12 pounds weren't fat necessarily. Maybe about 5 pounds of it were fat, 6 pounds of it were fat, but a lot of it generally was a lot of water weight and inflammation that generally melts off oftentimes with a lot of people. Some women lose weight super rapidly in Sexy Shed. Other women, it takes a little bit longer. But I'll give you an example of one woman who I love her so much. Her name is Tina. Tina came to me. We've been working together, and she said, I can't keep up with my kids. I can't keep up with my kids at all. I have no energy. And I'm so miserable about my weight because I've never been this heavy. I've always been thin. And this is it's devastating for me. So we started working together, and it took her a little bit longer to lose the weight because we had to address the causative factors that were creating it. And what we realized was that there was definitely some thyroid stuff going on that she had no idea about. And you know why she didn't know about it? Because her doctors never did full thyroid testing. How many of you guys go to the doctors and they tell you, oh, your thyroid looks normal? It's because they're basing it on incomplete thyroid markers that are checked. They only check TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone, and T4, which is your inactive thyroid hormone. That's not enough. If I went into the doctor to get those two tested, they would never have found my Hashimoto's, ever. Just because, side note, my Hashimoto's, all my thyroid levels were normal. The only thing that was elevated was my thyroid antibodies. So I never would have figured it out. So she took a little bit longer for sure, but now she's starting to lose weight. So I'll get messages from her and she's like, I just lost another 5 pounds. Now it's actually starting to come off because everybody is different. So people will say, well, how long will it take for me to get results? And I'm like, ideally, yeah, 2 months is a great time frame for sure. And a lot of people, the majority of people, because it's going to depend on your case, but also your level of commitment, right? So these are all things that we do. I would suggest, like, the program is so phenomenal on the base program alone. Like, I've put so much work into those protocols, into those recipes. There's going to be like a lot of the work is going to come down to a lot of the coaching calls that you guys are going to see, because they're invaluable. There's like hours and hours of coaching calls, which I don't want to overwhelm you, but like, it's a lot of value there. But the thing that I love the most about this is that, like a lot of programs that are out there, we have options to upgrade to testing. And I will tell you that when I started my journey when I was 25, because I'm 40 now, I would have given anything to at least have someone had tested me. No one tested me for 10 years. I just got protocols from people. Oh, you should be taking this. Well, based on what? Right? I'm watching this with my mom. Hi, Rebecca's mom. Can she receive this deal too? 1,000%. So yeah, I would suggest, I always suggest people to not only to get the Sexy Shed because it's phenomenal, but like rope someone in with you, because it's a darn good program. So yeah, absolutely. You guys both have to purchase the program, because then you both will be in the Facebook group together and working together towards it. But I would say 1,000%, especially if you're going to do it with your mom. I think that's awesome. Does it address mindset to be able to stay on course for the 8 weeks? Holy hell yes. So here is the thing. I will not let you give up on yourself. Simply me, Laura D. I will not let you give up on yourself. I am the type of person who will be your biggest cheerleader, but ass kicker. I don't know if you guys have ever worked with me. If there's anybody who's ever worked with me, they'll be able to attest that I call people out. Like, I call people out. And not to be rude or mean, but I'll be like, hey, haven't heard from you, or, how's your exercise going? I also, just so you guys know, no one does this that runs groups. You might think I'm nuts to do this, but I also randomly call people once a week, once, maybe twice a week. I randomly call program people. Like, I'll call them and go, hey, it's Melissa Ramos calling. And they'll be like, what? Just checking in, seeing how you're doing. But I randomly do it because I love surprising people. And I want people who are doing my programs to feel valued. And I want them to stay on track. And I want you to know that, like, what happens if you go through you have a really fucking hard day? So what happens if you have a really hard day? Do you want to eat a salad when you had a hard day? Because let me tell you something. Oh shit, says Peachy, you're so cute. She's like, no pressure. So I want to give you guys a little bit of a story. So I launched Sexy Shed on Tuesday, and I did it after I did this whole masterclass presentation. And we had tech glitches, of which is not my system. Like, I don't own these systems, right? I pay these systems to work. So when they don't work, if people are frustrated, it's like, if you guys tried to be on that masterclass, let me know, because you'll know that it was bumping people out like constantly. And then people were trying to get back in, but it was a fucking nightmare. By 7:15, 15 minutes into the masterclass, we had 400 emails of people who were saying they were angry because the masterclass had glitches. Like, the system we were using, that I pay that system to work, had glitches. I had people who emailed and called me disgusting and selfish, and I cried. Okay. And I want to be very transparent about this. I cried because it was so hard to hear, because I pour so much of myself into my work, and I care so deeply about the people that I work with. And I give so much free valuable information, that to be called these names were like, it was devastating to me. And do you want to know what I ate? Simply me, Laura D. I ate peanut butter out of a fucking jar, and I ate chocolate. That's what I ate. I don't even think I ate a vegetable the whole day. And I'm saying this because, is it the healthiest option? No, it's not, but we're also human. So I say this because there's a really big mindset shift that needs to happen, that I didn't kick myself in the ass the entire day because that's what I chose to eat that day, right? Old Melissa, who's like super A-type and high achiever, etc., would have kicked herself in the butt and said like, "Oh my God, you're going to be fat. I can't believe that. Like, oh, why would you do that? You're so fat and ugly." Like, I would have like literally beat myself up. And instead that day I was like, this is what I have to do to be able to get, like, this is what I'm doing right now. I mean, there's levels, right? Like, I'm not going to go and eat McDonald's. So there's levels. And I celebrated my wins that day. I was like, so today, you want to know what my wins were that day? Is I drank a lot of water. That was my win. I drank a lot of water. And I'm going to hold on to that fucking win because that was great. I ate a lot of chocolate and peanut butter out of a jar while I worked at my computer and cried. And I'm saying this because of the fact that it is so darn important that I'm just going to, so I'm saying this because I think that it's so important to be able to just recognize that you're human and you're going to have bad days. Obviously, we try to promote that you choose healthier options when you're having those bad days. But there's also, with the weight loss whole sphere, is there needs to be a level of compassion, like in a big way. Because ladies, we are so not compassionate to ourselves. We don't allow ourselves to rest. We don't give ourselves permission to rest. And when we, oftentimes, a lot of women, when we do, we feel like we're lazy, and we feel bad about it. These are things that, like, we kick ourselves in the ass so much, and we do so much for everybody else at the sake of our own selves, thinking that this is what we're supposed to do. But that's being a martyr. Look at how much I've done for you at the expense of myself. And the way that you show up in life is the way that everything else happens. If you have struggles in your relationships, if you have struggles with your relationship with food, if you have struggles with your relationship with money, it says everything about you. And I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm saying that because I know this to be true because I've lived it. And it is so important to be able to really understand this, because this is a lot of what Sexy Shed really offers. So remember, bonuses end tonight. So Peachy, if you're contemplating over joining, I will tell you right now, don't sit on that fence, because tonight is the last night for the bonuses. If you miss tonight, you literally lose out on $600 worth of bonuses, which is like such a shame because they're so good. So I also want people who are full in, because I'm full in when it comes to working with people, that I want you guys to be too. So with that said, I have posted the link to be able to join. I will do that again. Remember, the bonuses expire this evening, Friday evening. So if you're watching the replay and you're like, where's my bonuses? You're not going to be able to get that. But I want to be able to post this here, and to make sure that if you guys want to work with me, I would love to work with you. So Peachy, like, at the end, what are the bonuses? So the bonuses are, you get 4 meditation recordings, okay? They're all elemental meditation recordings that has to do with helping to quell grief, anger, fear, and obsession and worry. So that's like one big bonus right there. The other bonus that comes with it is the Ignite call recording. And that one is like the one that is just so darn valuable. I wish women were actually taught this in school. But it came from the notion where so many women come to me and go, well, you know, I'm not feeling well. I'm like, well, did you get blood work done? And they're like, oh, yeah, maybe at this time. Women are not keeping track of their blood work. They don't have copies of it. I talk about functional ranges versus lab ranges. I talk about which blood work you're supposed to get, and I give you actual, like, what to get. I also, in that Ignite call, I also tell you where to get blood work if you're getting pushback from your medical doctor, because a lot of women say, but my doctor doesn't want to test this, you know? So there's that. I literally help you create an entire health portfolio. So that Ignite call recording is gold. So those bonuses expire this evening. So that's why I'm saying, Peachy, I know you're about to go to bed, but I will tell you right now that if you're debating on joining, I would absolutely do it this evening. And if you are watching this, guys, and you're thinking like, this sounds amazing, I love the bonuses, I'm on board, I totally want to do the sexy shed, but I really want to like take it up a notch, upgrade to testing, because that way you can really be able to like up level your health, especially with the hair trace mineral analysis. You can add that onto a hormone test. You don't have to do the hormone test. You can just do the hair trace mineral analysis, or you don't have to do either one of them. You can just get the base program, which is still absolutely phenomenal. Whatever absolutely works for you. We are here for you. I will show up for you. But if this is what you want, literally, this is something that will help you out substantially. And truthfully, women are not putting themselves first, and they don't feel that they're worthy. I see this all the time with women when they're making excuses, and they just put the blinders on and go, yeah, I'll deal with this at some point. But I hate to tell you, it doesn't get better. It actually gets worse. As somebody who's 40 years old and who has gone through a near-death experience, fibroids, Hashimoto's, like I had a cyst that tore off a piece of my right ovary and I almost bled to death. Like I had 24 staples in my abdomen. I had gone through the ringer with my health. And now my focus is my health. And every morning I wake up and I think to myself, okay, body, what do you need today? What do you need today? Because every day your body's going to demand something different of you. You can't do the same shit just because this is what the plan says. You got to be fluid with it. And that's what we also teach you, is that fluidity, that intuition, to be able to really tap into your bodies, because women are way too up in their heads, man. I'll tell you that straight up on a big, big way. So, and you're very welcome. Thank you very much, Patricia. That's sweet of you. So those are the bonuses. I hope I explained them properly, and I hope I explained about the program. As I mentioned to you, the program is absolutely phenomenal. You get those 8 weeks of coaching. You get the meal plan. You get a food guidelines, shopping list. We give you a video on intermittent fasting. I give you a cooking tutorial video, weight loss protocols. And I say protocols because there is a postnatal one, a gallbladder one for people who've had their gallbladders removed, and then the base one, which is amazing. We have master classes with our experts, which is, I have one expert, she's doing literally a 3-part series, and she's a licensed psychotherapist. I have another expert who is talking about addictions, which we all have. If you don't think you have an addiction, you're kidding yourself. It may not be as extreme as, like, say, a drug addiction, but everyone has an addiction to something. Private Shed Sexy Shed Facebook group is also a part of it with the private community. I send you weekly emails as well. As I said to you guys, I randomly call people, but it's so amazing. I don't have Facebook and Instagram. Can I still do the program? Yeah, because you'll get emailed once a week, truthfully, and you'll still have access, Hetty, to the entire portal in the back. So you're still going to have like so much incredible like resources that it'll be great. I will tell you, though, that I do have a woman who created a Facebook account, like no picture, nothing, just so she could access the group, like the Facebook group. So that wouldn't be the worst idea for you, but if you're super dead set against it, you still have loads of value that is with the program. Rebecca, is the add some things that is an addition when purchasing the Sexy Lady Balls? I know you said upgrade. I'm trying to understand your question. Is the ads something that is in addition? Yes, it's an addition. Because those add-ons, those are hard costs for me. Like you're seeing one of my functional practitioners for the session. We're mailing out the kit. So that's cost of shipping. That's cost of the test for the lab to run it. So those are lab fees. And obviously the time for the practitioner to create the test. So like there are hard costs associated with that. So those are what those fees are. But they're in addition to it. Yes, they are. Again, there's no pressure to upgrade at all, but it is worth it. Okay, so on the fence, I have heard that you must have binders to carry out heavy metals. Does only food actually move out heavy metals out? Okay, really great question. you do need binders. So in the program, we don't focus in on detoxing your heavy metals necessarily because we focus on mineral balance, okay? The difference is the only way that I would sit there and strongly detox your heavy metals is if I saw through testing, this is what's there and this is what we have to detox out for starters, right? Which in that case, we would add binders. So binders, you could do activated charcoal for a binder, but I'm not a huge fan because it can actually take out some of the good with the bad. I like Pectosol C, which is a modified citrus pectin. But the program really does center around with balancing your minerals. Balancing your minerals, your gut. Oh, your gut's a big one, guys. People have some really, like, they're not focusing in on their gut at all. And your gut bacteria is huge when it comes to managing your weight and your inflammatory response. So it is a very, very, very well-rounded program. Like, it has changed since I last launched it 2.5 years ago because I learned so much out of my own experience as well. And again, I'm there in that group, and so is Anna Lubaska, who is my resident nutritionist. So we obviously, you've got not just me. So if I'm not around, because I'm not on Facebook 24/7, she's also there to be able to answer some questions as well. True, I just don't see it as an option when I'm about to check out. Would it appear after I purchase the Sexy Shed? Yes. It's a great question. So when you purchase the Sexy Shed, after you purchase it, you will be taken to a page that will give you the option to upgrade. So it'll say, do you want to upgrade to the hormone test? Okay. And you can be like, yeah, I totally do. So you can say yes. And then it'll say, do you want to add on the hair trace mineral analysis? And they'll both be read in one consult. And you can go, yeah, that's awesome. Or you can be like, I don't want the hormone test. So you can say no to that. And then it'll take you to a page that will say, do you want the hair trace mineral analysis test? And it'll say, and then you can say yes or no to it. So I hope that helps to answer your questions, but that's essentially what happens. Ooh, yeah, I know it's these like just silly tech things that happen, Rebecca, but that's how that all kind of goes down. But obviously, if you purchase and you're like, I never figured out, like, you know, where to upgrade, you always can. I was losing it. Woman, I've been losing it all week. But obviously, if you guys have any customer support questions or tech questions, just email assistant@sexyfoodtherapy.com and I'll help you. Or I should say my team will help you because I have a customer support team. But they're there just so that you understand in case you email support assistant@sexyfoodtherapy.com. They are off on the weekends because they're a lovely group of human beings who have families and do deserve a break, but they're back in on Mondays. So I just want to let you guys know that we do have a 48-hour reply. You'll get that. So I just want people to know that because sometimes they're like, I emailed on Friday at 9 o'clock and I haven't heard back. And it's like Monday at 10 a.m. And I'm like, woman, it was the weekend. And we have a 48-hour response time Monday to Friday. So you'll probably hear back on Tuesday, you know? But I just explain that because I think sometimes people like want immediacy online, which is just like, thank you very much, Amazon. I still like Amazon Prime, I'm not going to lie. But anyway, that all aside, I hope that you guys can join. Rebecca, I hope you can join. Jamie, I hope you can join. Hetty, I hope you can join. Patricia, Simply Me, Laura D, Forever Mama of 3, Peachy, and everybody else who's been listening in, I hope you can join because I pour my fucking heart out into my work. And if I didn't, the comments that I receive that are so fucking nasty sometimes, I generally can like weather it, but sometimes it hurts so much because I put so much of myself into my work because I truly do care. So I hope that I get the incredible opportunity to be able to work with you, some of you guys, because you just seem like incredible human beings. And I do keep in touch with people on social media. And it's just a joy to be able to connect with people like you. So guys, that is it for the evening. I've been rambling on for 1 hour and 15 minutes, yo. So that's a lot. So anyways, guys, I hope you can join, sign up, and get those bonuses this evening. They're so flippin' well worth it. Otherwise, purchase doors close on Monday, end of day. but I would highly suggest getting in on it sooner rather than later. All right. That's it, guys. Thank you so much, and have yourselves a beautiful Friday evening.